Tales from the Crypt has always excelled in presenting morality tales wrapped in horror, and the episode Operation Friendship stands out as a particularly unsettling exploration of loyalty, deception, and human nature. From the opening moments, the audience is drawn into a deceptively serene world, one where childhood bonds appear warm and comforting but conceal hidden rivalries and unspoken resentments. The episode introduces a group of former classmates who have grown apart over the years yet reunite under the guise of rekindling old friendships. The brilliance of this setup lies in its universality. Nearly everyone has experienced reunions where old tensions quietly simmer beneath polite smiles, and the episode leverages this familiarity to heighten suspense and emotional engagement. The protagonist is depicted as an ordinary individual whose life has followed a predictable trajectory, embodying vulnerability, self-doubt, and a longing for acceptance. He becomes the lens through which the audience experiences the creeping horror of betrayal disguised as camaraderie. Each of his friends brings a distinct personality to the story. Some are outwardly charming yet manipulative, others appear meek but harbor cunning intentions, and a few are reckless, driven by jealousy or ego. This careful characterization ensures that no one is entirely trustworthy, keeping the viewer in a constant state of uncertainty. What makes the episode particularly effective is that the horror arises not from supernatural threats but from the inherent flaws of human behavior, emphasizing the psychological over the grotesque. Visually, the episode is a masterclass in suspenseful cinematography. The lighting is used strategically to create an atmosphere of unease, often casting faces partially in shadow so that expressions are ambiguous and intentions unclear. In one memorable scene, the friends gather in a dimly lit living room, their faces illuminated only by flickering candles, and the flickering light accentuates fleeting expressions of malice, doubt, and anticipation. The camera lingers on these subtle moments, forcing the viewer to interpret character motivations in real time, heightening tension without the need for dialogue. The framing often isolates the protagonist from the group in wide shots, emphasizing his growing sense of vulnerability as the episode progresses. The writing is equally compelling, employing dialogue that functions on multiple levels. Casual remarks carry hidden meanings, and ordinary conversations are imbued with foreshadowing that only becomes evident in hindsight. There is a particular scene where one character jokingly questions the loyalty of another, and the line is delivered with an almost imperceptible edge, signaling the underlying threat of betrayal. This type of nuanced writing encourages repeated viewing, as small clues accumulate to reveal the full horror of the situation. Operation Friendship is a reminder that tension can be built not only through action but also through suggestion, leaving much to the imagination while maintaining a relentless sense of dread. The pacing of the episode is carefully calibrated to escalate suspense gradually while maintaining the narrative's cohesion. Early interactions are deliberately light-hearted, with laughter, reminiscing, and shared memories lulling both protagonist and audience into a false sense of security. As the story unfolds, minor conflicts, grudges, and misunderstandings begin to surface, growing in intensity until they explode into the central moral confrontation. This careful layering of tension is a hallmark of effective horror, and the episode exemplifies how psychological terror can be more potent than shock or gore. Every smile, glance, or hesitation carries weight, making viewers question whether they are witnessing a friendly reunion or the first steps toward ruin. One of the episode's most striking sequences involves a seemingly innocent social activity designed to test loyalty and courage. The friends participate in a game that quickly becomes a psychological minefield, revealing character flaws and exposing vulnerabilities. As competition and tension mount, allegiances shift unpredictably, highlighting the fragility of trust and the unpredictability of human behavior. The episode cleverly juxtaposes moments of dark humor with these increasingly tense situations, creating a tone that is unsettling yet captivating. The humor is not gratuitous, but serves to emphasize the absurdity of human pride and the often petty motivations that drive moral compromise. Character development is a cornerstone of Operation Friendship, with each individual portrayed through a combination of action, dialogue, and subtle nonverbal cues. The protagonist's internal struggle is particularly nuanced. Viewers witness his attempts to navigate conflicting loyalties, fear of rejection, and moral hesitation. His decisions are influenced as much by past relationships and personal insecurities as by the immediate threats posed by his friends' actions. Meanwhile, supporting characters are gradually revealed to have layered motivations, creating a complex web of psychological dynamics. The writers successfully create a sense of moral ambiguity, leaving the audience uncertain about who deserves sympathy and who is morally culpable. A defining theme of the episode is the tension between appearance and reality. The veneer of friendship masks deep-seated envy, deceit, and ambition, illustrating how easily trust can be exploited. Scenes are constructed to show the contrast between public interactions and private intentions, emphasizing the duality of human nature. For instance, moments of warmth and nostalgia are often immediately undercut by manipulative behavior, revealing that even seemingly genuine affection can harbor hidden agendas. This thematic exploration elevates Operation Friendship beyond conventional horror, positioning it as a study of ethical dilemmas and the complexities of interpersonal relationships. The use of irony throughout the episode further enhances its narrative sophistication. Several characters attempt to manipulate others for personal gain, only to find that their schemes backfire in unexpected and often darkly humorous ways. These ironic twists not only heighten suspense, but also reinforce the moral dimension of the story. The audience is reminded that unethical actions carry consequences, and that human arrogance and deceit are often self-destructive. The episode's ability to blend horror, irony, and social critique is a testament to the enduring creative vision of the series. From a thematic standpoint, Operation Friendship also explores the psychological cost of betrayal and the fear of social rejection. The protagonist's anxieties are intensified by the perception that any misstep could lead to humiliation or ostracism. This exploration of social psychology adds depth to the horror, making it relatable on a visceral level. Viewers recognize the tension inherent in balancing self-preservation with moral responsibility, and the episode transforms these universal concerns into gripping drama. The horror emerges naturally from human interactions, rather than relying on supernatural elements, making the experience all the more compelling. The climax of the episode is both inevitable and shocking. By the final act, the web of deceit, jealousy, and ambition has reached a tipping point, culminating in a confrontation that is emotionally and morally charged. The resolution underscores the central theme that trust, once broken, can have devastating consequences, and that betrayal often begets its own punishment. The narrative concludes with a sense of poetic justice, leaving the audience to reflect on the ethical lessons embedded in the story while still reeling from its suspenseful twists. In reflecting on Operation Friendship, the episode resonates because it amplifies universal anxieties about friendship, loyalty, and trust. The narrative demonstrates that even the closest relationships are vulnerable to manipulation and that the consequences of betrayal can be severe and far-reaching. The episode's horror is heightened by its grounding in psychological realism, allowing viewers to see themselves in the characters' dilemmas and to reflect on the moral choices they might face in similar situations. In conclusion, Operation Friendship is a masterful example of psychological horror that blends suspense, moral inquiry, and dark humor. Its exploration of loyalty, deception, and human fallibility elevates it beyond mere entertainment, transforming it into a meditation on the fragility of social bonds and the moral complexities of human behavior. With its meticulous attention to character, atmosphere, and narrative tension, the episode stands as one of the most memorable entries in the Tales from the Crypt series. It engages the viewer both emotionally and intellectually, leaving a lasting impression that encourages reflection on the often hidden darkness within human relationships.